dedicated a memorial in Canberra to the SAS people that had been killed in Vietnam and in training. On this occasion, when we dedicated our memorial, all of the next of kin of some 42 SAS soldiers attended the service, and as they came up to place their roses on the memorial, they came up and stood by me. And it was a bright sunny day. They all had their glasses on and they were crying. The next of kin, the families, the wives and their children, dated from the Borneo days to people that were in their late 40s and 50s, down to the Black Hawk widows in their 20s. And I think that triggered it. I just found that impossible to cope with. And it was only days after that that I found I had problems. And so 33 years after the war, I became a casualty. And all of my soldiers have done that. I feel responsible for them still. And I now feel really compelled to get back in touch with them all and help them. Because I think they need me now more than ever.
But from the start, the war in Vietnam was destined to be different.
We're at the Sydney Town Hall on the corner of George Street and Park Street.
It was a war that had the power to divide ordinary Australian men and women. And it prompted citizens who'd never protested in their lives to take to the streets. Vietnam weakened our strong ties with an important friend as we went to war for the first time without them. We answered the call from a new and demanding ally, and we fought in a war that would never be won. Vietnam was a war that, for a while, caused us to forget those countrymen and women who put their lives at risk for our nation.
It's been said, probably by someone much wiser than me, that the soldiers win the battles, but the politicians win the wars or lose the wars. And Vietnam is no different. The politicians sent the soldiers in. We were not very well equipped. We were not very well supported. We won the battles. We lost the war.
Morality had nothing to do with it. We were there for purely pragmatic reasons, and I could understand that. The Americans said, for Christ's sake, look, you lean on us for your security, whether it's proper or not. You lean on us for your security, therefore we want you there, you know. We've got a lot of brownie points with your country, and now you owe us.
It wasn't simply a response to brownie points owed that sent our troops to Vietnam. The communist North had attacked the American-backed South. We feared that if Vietnam fell to the rising force of the communists, then like dominoes, neighboring Asian countries would also fall. The falling dominoes would lead the communist threat to our shores. Our commitment was a token one at first. No combat, just an army training team to teach the South Vietnamese how to fight the good fight against communism.
G'day. Ciao, Em.
But even in those early, naive days, the lies, secrets, and double dealing that were to characterize this conflict were already in operation. For the Americans, winning was everything, as a young Australian officer found out firsthand when he was sent to the Central Highlands of Vietnam by the CIA. He was to train the Vietnamese hill tribes, called the Montagnard, to fight the Viet Cong. But Captain Peterson's mistake was that he was too successful. And this success drew another CIA assignment, to take part in a widespread program of assassinations.
I said, if anyone has to be knocked off, I have the men to do it. And from time to time we do it. But no way do I want to create a special force of assassins. I called it a Frankenstein monster. I said, no, I won't be in it. I said, we'll cope and we'll knock off people who are positively identified as agents, enemy agents, but no professional assassins.
The program called Phoenix was ultimately effective, but inevitably abused.
A lot of innocent people died. A lot of people who, for some reason or other, government officials had grudges against them and decided to get rid of them. And of course they'd used this Phoenix program by pointing them out as communists. It's very much like McCarthyism in the States. Somebody's named and they're blacklisted because they're suspected of being a communist. Except in Vietnam, of course, they were killed.
Captain Peterson's refusal to join Phoenix almost spelt his demise. The CIA simply added his name to the death list.
All they had to do was cut off the flow of money and weapons, and that would have been enough to get rid of me. It would have been made to look like an accident and I would die a hero's death, which sounded a bit stupid to me. But I think it was really very much like Apocalypse Now. If he won't come out, if he won't leave the Highlands, we'll get rid of him.
Captain Peterson was a member of a unique Australian training team. They were the longest-serving Australian unit in Vietnam, the first in and the last to leave. They were the most decorated unit of any in our wars, with 4 Victoria Crosses awarded for exceptional courage. Thousands of fellow soldiers followed in their path.
A is for Aussie, the salt of the earth, a fearless soldier, but he's full of mirth. B is for Bamui, Bahrain, Noggy, drink a glass down your throat and your guts down the sink. C is for Charlie, the elusive VC. He hides in the jungle, but he can't hide from me. D is for Digger, the bravest of all. He sells his life dearly at his country's call.